Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you in different time zones around the world and across the country. It's here, Thursday. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning in London at 1 a.m. and it's 9 a.m. in London, 9 a.m. in Tokyo, Japan. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another portion of Talk Back Live. And that's us. We're here with you for the next hour. We're here every Thursday. And of course, we invite you to come along each Thursday. If you're a first-time visitor, well, we'll tell you all about it. You see, here is what we do. Every week when we come on the air, we invite you to be part of the show because that's the purpose, to get you involved too, so we can have a little verbal conversation with each other. Because we're live, I could talk to you, you could talk to me, and people who come in, you could talk to others as they all come in. And of course, we do this, as I said, every Thursday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And of course, as we get involved in conversation, all we have to do is, as I start the show, I'll throw out, of course, topics that you may or may not like. And if you don't, that's okay too, because you can throw in your own topic. I will see you right there on the big screen when you type your comments and suggestions, and I will entertain all of that. You may have suggestions, ideas, comments, or anything that you want. We will certainly entertain it for you. So we want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy, because we're going to be here for the whole hour. Now, we come live on Facebook, and those of you who are watching us live on Facebook right now, we want to invite you to tell all your friends about it, and you can do it right now as we speak. All you have to do is take the show and forward to everyone that you know. In other words, tag them, tag your friends. They'll get the message, they'll come along, they'll see you out here, and then of course they'll be comfortable. We're going to make everybody comfortable when they come in, and we'll be able to talk to them. You talk to you. You know the whole idea. You know. And if you're watching us on YouTube, okay, now we advise you to, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Do that, because when you do that, that will get you involved. You become a full-fledged member, and all you have to do is, like, when, let's say, for instance, we come on live or we post a video or something like that, it will give you notification and you can see it right away, providing you online. And of course, for those of you who are watching us on Instagram as well, we're here. All you have to do is follow us. So we want to say hi to each and every one of you. Those of you who are coming in, you want to make comments and suggestions, that would be great too. A lot of people just want to sit idle and watch the show, and that's okay too. But we really would like you to get involved if you possibly can. We'd like to talk to you. We'd just like to meet and greet you. But I do see you out there, because I know a lot of people are sitting idle right now. And I see that, but I won't acknowledge you, because out of respect, I want to make sure that you make your comments first, and then we can call your name and greet you, properly. So there you have it. It's right there. And later on in the program, we're going to do the regular thing that we always do. Later on in the program, minutes from now, as a matter of fact, within this half hour of the show, Brian Camp will be coming to you live. You'll get the chance to meet him. He'll be coming to you live from Charlotte, North Carolina, and we're going to link together. We'll have him on the air, and he's going to do Sports Update. That's the name of his show, his portion of the show, and bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. Of course, later on too, I will have This Day in History, give you all the events that happened on this day in history. That's coming on too, and then later on in the program, as we go along, just before we go off, we'll give you all of those great movies that you love, or Turner classic movies, those classic movies that you love. I have a few that I'm going to convey to you later on in the program, so you'll get a chance to see that. Now, we do that each week because of the fact that we would like to add to your bucket list of things to do on the weekend. Sometimes you may be in the house, you may not be able to go out, and you want to catch up on some old movies, and you can do that. And I have a few that you may be interested in. We'll tell you more about that as we go along. It's all happening right here, and we thank you so much for being along. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for all of your patronage. Those of you who are around for a long time, you already know the score, and that's the way we do things. I see more people are coming in, so I just want to give a hearty hello and a hearty wave to each and every one of you out there. So there you have it. And we have had a week of, a lot of things going on in the news and things like that. You already know about that. The way in the world that we live in today, wonders never cease. And sometimes you get to the point where you're not surprised anymore about whatever goes on, but what we like to do is like give you information that you probably already know about. But since we're a weekly show, we don't get to do it like in real time, like regular news shows, but we get to tell you about it anyway. Actor James Caan, that's one thing for sure. You heard about that today. That was all over the news today. Actor James Caan, you might have remembered him. He had a role in The Godfather, and he had a series called Las Vegas. He was in that, and a whole lot of other movies. He was a legendary actor and fine actor too. He passed away today. Well, actually, it wasn't today. He passed away yesterday. It was confirmed that he passed away yesterday, but the news didn't break until today. So let's say all of our blessings and our prayers to James Caan, his family, friends, and his fellow workers, fellow actors, people who work with them, people who knew him very well. We would just want to say our deepest condolences to all of them out there. So there you go. And folks, the beat goes on. Things are happening, and ever since we had the developments of the hearings, you heard about the hearings, right? You know about the hearings, the January 6th hearings, the insurrection hearings, right? And things are more and more coming out. They're coming out more and more and more, and things are like really, we'll have to see what the end is going to be. Basically, you know what the end is going to be, but you're just going to have to sit back, relax, and as I usually say, enjoy the show. Join the show, because that's basically what it is. It's a total show. Okay. If you're just joining us this very moment, well, welcome aboard. It's 8 minutes past the hour, 7 minutes past the hour right now. And just in case you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live, and we are talking back live. We are live. So come along live with us, and there's so much to talk about and to do and all of that. Also in the news, you heard about the Highland Park. They're still talking about that too. The shooting in Highland Park. Highland Park, that mass shooting that happened on the 4th of July, and all people were doing, the only thing that people were doing is watching a parade on the 4th of July. And we hope that you had a wonderful 4th of July holiday. We hope you did. It's been a kind of a week where people want to do certain things. They take a break from certain things, and they just want to sit back and enjoy fireworks and all of those things that go along with us with that. And of course, you missed it. If you missed it, we had fireworks here in New York. Of course, we have that each week, and a lot of people get to see that. They want to go on and check them out. So what they do, they have what they call the Macy's fireworks coming from the Macy's department. They do the fireworks each week, and usually it's on the east side of town. And I just had my fingers crossed, and I'm thinking to myself, when the fireworks go on, you hear all the booms and the pops and all of that. You know what that is. But I was always, and this may be a hell of a thing to say because you don't want to encourage anything, but I was thinking, what all of those things were going on, booms, and and we didn't want the blending of gunfire in with all of that, because people make that mistake of thinking, oh, it's not gunfire, it's fireworks and it's firecrackers, and people were thinking about that, Fortunately, nothing happened. Everything was okay in that field. But they're still talking about the Highland Park shooting, the 4th of July parade. And the man that we're talking about, and it's sad. He's captured. The man he was dressed in women's clothing, and and shooting more than 70 rounds of fire at people with a rifle. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, this man bought the rifle illegally. He bought it legally. And his name, by the way, his name is Robert Crimo. Robert Crimo. Robert Crimo. Robert Crimo was the shooter in Highland Park, Illinois. Highland Park, Illinois. He was a shooter. He dressed, as I said, dressed as a female, and he fired 70 rounds of fire from a rifle before blending in with the crowd to try to escape. And now, of course, obviously, he's in police custody. He has it. And the new thing that came out today that I found out that he actually admitted to the fact that he was the shooter and that he was planning other shootings. He was planning other shootings. His father, by the way, doesn't want to take responsibility for that, although he helped his son get the rifle, you know, so how could you not be responsible for that? But yeah, he's in custody now. But the whole thing about this whole thing, we're saying to ourselves, you know, when is it going to all end? You know, because every time you look around, there's always something going on. And there's shooting after shooting, whether it's in New York, which we had shootings over the holiday as well here in New York, you know, and it seems it's always something. It only makes me think and wonder. It's just like a conspiracy. Are they actually doing this on purpose? Who are they targeting? Targeting certain people in certain neighborhoods, certain ethnic groups, you know. And, you know, for some people, they glorify this. This is great for them. They love it. You know, what's next for this guy, Crimo, Robert Crimo? You know, I hate to think that after all is said and done, and after all of this is finished, when the heat goes off, oh, well, the heat is never going to go off. But in certain people's mind, the heat goes off. What's going to happen? He's going to wind up on Fox News, you know, talking to the people. He's going to be a hero, wind up on Fox News. And just like Kyle Rittenhouse, remember Kyle Rittenhouse? Kyle Rittenhouse was another one that went out and shot people. Now, the thing with Kyle Rittenhouse is that he wound up, oh, he's a big hero now. He's got his fame. He's a big hero for the people at Fox News. And they had him on Tucker Carlson. I'm sorry, Tucker Carlson show. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. They had him on that show, and Tucker asked him, you know, what is his plans right now? What is he going to do? Well, you know what he's done? He's saying now that he wants to sue the media. He wants to sue the media. Why would you want to sue the media? He said he wants to sue the media for making his life miserable. He can't go out without bodyguards. He can't walk his dog in a dog park. He can't go to grocery stores or supermarkets. He can't live a normal life like anybody else. I wonder why, Kyle Rittenhouse. You shot people, you killed people. So you're only reaping what you sow. All right. What's going to happen with this guy? He's going to get his own talk show next. He's going to wind up as a news correspondent or something like that on Fox News. The same thing with Robert Crimo. What's going to happen next? We got to follow this very carefully. You see how these things work. How these people think, you know, how people think, you know, that this is it. All right. And of course, it always goes back to the Second Amendment. You know, it goes back to that. I believe that's the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. And, you know, no one is talking about that. Some of these guns are falling into the hands of people who shouldn't have them, people who are mentally unbalanced, and they're shooting up people and doing this and doing that. And no one is doing anything about it. These guns, it's happening. If I carry a tube of mace in my pocket, right? If I carry mace in my pocket and somehow if I'm being attacked, then I spray mace in your face. Well, I wonder what would happen to me. I would probably wind up in jail, you know, for mace, you know. A kid can't go into a bar and get a beer until he's, what, 21 years old. But at the age of 18, he can buy a gun. And so I don't know, we got to continue to, and people are saying, people who are victims, they're saying now, you know what, we don't want your prayers, we don't want your sympathy, you know, we want someone to do something. We want to talk to the politicians. We want the politicians to act on this. We want them to do this. We want them to work on it. And so the story goes, and I understand that. I understand why they don't want prayers and sympathy, because their children are being killed. And it was a whole big mess. There was one guy that was had to shield his infant son. Thank God, you know, him and his wife and his family, they're out, you know, they're all out of the woods. You know, they were saved, but you get the idea. You get the idea. But we're going to talk more about these other things and a lot of other things too as well. I'm not going to linger on one subject, and you are invited to be part of us too as well. But right now I want to go over to Charlotte, North Carolina. And as I promised you, you get to meet him live here in person. Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports.
Good evening. This gun thing is really getting out of hand. Not too long ago on the 4th of July, the Oakland A's played in the American League, had a shooting incident at the Coliseum where they play at. You know, it's just getting out of hand. The Republicans don't want to budge. The Democrats don't know what to really do to put a good law, a good bill on paper. So this is going to continue, unfortunately, you know, until somebody budges. And you know, like I had predicted this, you know, you wanted that last president out. I predicted that he would be out. I'm predicting that this current president is a one and done deal too. So,
you know, when this thing may stop, Ryan, and the reason why I don't want to pick on any particular party, but with everything that's going on, and I talk about, we go back to Roe v. Wade and all of that, because the Supreme Court, you know, which by the way, the conservatives are the majority in the court, and every one of them voted to overturn it. It's not going to stop until it hits home, because they have to remember too that they have families, they have children, and right now they're all safe. Nothing's happened to them. They got to realize, no matter how much money you have, no matter how much intelligence you have, no matter what your job is, what you do, how prestigious it is, it could happen to you. And it didn't happen to anyone yet, but, and I pray it doesn't happen to anyone. But it's not going to stop until it hits home.
Right, you hit it right on the nose. It's only going to get a reaction if it hits somebody close to home. But other than that, they don't care. They're not going to care, or should they care? They just want to keep their seat in the Senate, to keep their seat in government, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what the Democrat, who could put on a very viewable bill on the table, the Republicans will just shoot it down. I don't want to use the word shoot it down, but knock it down, just because it's by the Democrats. And on the other hand, the Democrats are not making things easier for the. This is what I've been saying for the longest. I lost many friends because I speak against the Republicans. I got a lot of people that don't want to be my friends, but I also speak against the Democrats too, because I show, and I always will maintain, I have no loyalty to no political party. They're all crooks. They all just want what's best for them. And this is what happened in Major League Baseball. Four baseball fans were injured by bullet fragments from outside the Coliseum while attending a post-game game show after the game on July 4th for the fireworks show. Now, they usually have that, I guess, every year during that time when the A's are home. These are the Oakland Athletics who play their game in Oakland, California. Now, because the A's had won the game 5-1, and it lasted just only 2 hours and 27 minutes, it wasn't yet dark at that time. So the fans started coming onto the field, which they were allowed to do, which is really strange. I don't know why that they would do that. They had 24,403 fans to come on the field to allow on the playing time just after 9 p.m. local time. That would be a little bit right after midnight Eastern time. And that's what happened. So we're glad that nobody was killed. We're glad that nobody was seriously hurt, but there was some injuries, and and fireworks, and that's another thing. Fireworks for years. I mean, my mother used to say, "Don't stay away from those fireworks. Stay away from those fireworks. They're dangerous. You can blow up a finger, blow up a hand. You can injure your eye, blow out your eye." You know, but these are the things that incite people like this person who did the shooting, you know, engage. So that's where we're at. In the WNBA, Brittany Griner, again, you know, she's facing, you know, 10 years now. Now, you know, recently we just found out that she pleaded guilty. She pleaded guilty, and you know, I'm just going to read a small statement. This was on Thursday, today. They said that the move was not expected to end her trial at all in Russia anytime soon. Even with a guilty plea in Russia's criminal courts, the judge will continue to read the full case filed into the record, and it could still go on for weeks or months. But she pleaded guilty. So we know that she's pleading guilty, but she still could face 10 years in prison. Earlier in the week, she sent a letter to the President of the United States, Joe Biden, according to what they were saying that Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre has said that the president did read it, and he's taking this letter very personal. So that's where we're at right now. The president is well aware of the situation, but they got to be very careful on how they move. So that's where we are right now. But it's sad. But I do have some good news, though. Oh, I got some great news. Las Vegas Raiders made a historical move today. Yes, they made a historical move today. They continue to break barriers of people of color, people of sex, where they hire Sandra Douglas Morgan as the team's new president Thursday. Douglas Morgan will be the first Black female to hold the position of team president in the NFL history. First time ever. The Raiders announced Douglas Morgan as the team president in a press conference at Allegiant Stadium. The Raiders have broken plenty of barriers over the years in the NFL, employing Tom Flores as the league's first Hispanic starting quarterback in 1960. And later, he was the first Hispanic coach in 1979. Art Shell was the NFL first Black coach in 1989. And Amy Trask is the league's first female CEO in 1997. So you know what? I'm not a Raider fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. But you know what? Let's give it up to the Raiders. What they're saying, we don't see no color. We don't see no sexual prejudice of what sex you hold. I salute the Raiders. I may not cheer for you during the season, but I respect and just say thank you, congratulations. So Morgan is the vice chair of the Las Vegas Super Bowl host committee prior to her new role with the Raiders. She is also the former chairwoman of the Nevada Gaming Control Board, a position she held from 1919 to 1921. Morgan also served as a city attorney for the Las Vegas from 2013 to 2016, and litigation attorney from MGM International. Wow, that's impressive. So congratulations to her. I'm so happy for her, and not only because she's like a person of color, but she's a woman. She knows sports. So congratulations to her. This day in sports, July 7th, 1919, That was over 103 years ago. Philadelphia Phillies tie a major league record of 8 steals in an inning, 9 in all, in a 10-5 loss against the New York Giants. Now they're called the San Francisco Giants. The New York Giants back in the early 1900s. 1948, Cleveland Indians stunned Major League Baseball by signing 42-year-old veteran Negro Leagues pitcher Satchel Paige. 1971, Major League Baseball Commissioner Bowie Kuhn announced that Negro players elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame to be given full membership. That's right, full membership. 2007, Cleveland Indians first baseman Travis Hafner becomes the first player in Major League Baseball history to hit 5 Grand Slam home runs before the All-Star break. What is a Grand Slam home run? A Grand Slam home run, for some of you that may not know, if when you have a players that occupies first, second, and third base, and the batter's up, he hits a home run, as they call it, they clear the bases. When they clear the bases, that's a Grand Slam home run. That's 4 runs. 4 runs. Birthdays, 1906. We just talked about Satchel Paige. He was born in 1906 in Mobile, Alabama. 1960, Ralph Sampson, NBA center, was born in Harrisburg, Virginia. 1972, Lisa Leslie, WNBA center, was born in Gardena, California. And in 1972, Michael Westbrook, NFL wide receiver, was born in Detroit, Michigan. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on a beautiful, windy, thunderous night in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Good for you. Hey, Satchel Paige, wasn't there I remember many years ago, I mean, I'm very aware of Satchel Paige and his accomplishment in baseball, but no one actually really knew his birthday.
That is true. That is true. I don't even know his birthday, but they have here, he was born in 1906, yeah.
1906.
That's what they say.
Yeah, but we're not really sure.
We're not sure.
That's unfortunate. I mean, I wonder how they did that back in those days. Maybe they didn't keep records or something, or whatever.
Back in those days, there was a lot of stuff that was going on with racial tension, where a lot of the records were destroyed.
Yeah,
that's no secret. I mean, it's I don't want to I don't want the audience to think that everything's a black and white situation, but it is part of U.S. history where a lot of the records of slaves were destroyed. So we don't know who's where or how old is who, but Satchel Paige, you're right.
Yeah.
Even when he retired, they didn't know how old he was at all.
Yeah. Wow, that's unfortunate. Well, it's today, no one could miss it because everything is in the database, and it's in there, and you can't get away from it. They got you. They got, it's unfortunate we don't get the privacy that we once had years ago, right? I mean, every move that you make, every breath you take, everyone knows about it. No matter if you're walking down the street, all of us are living under a microscope. And it got to the point even where they know what you drink, they know what you eat, they know what kind of movies you like. I mean, all of that.
And they know what we're saying right now, believe it or not, too, because they're looking at us from a big satellite. So yeah. We monitor, believe it or not.
Everybody's monitored. It's scary, and who knows, you're in your house and you say, oh, I got privacy in my house. You don't even know that.
Well, you don't know.
You don't know that. I know one of the things I heard, and I think you have one of those, Alexis.
Yeah.
Alexis, what to do. I heard that once you get one of those, is that they could monitor all of your activity as well with that. I don't know too much about Alexis. I don't own Alexis. I don't even think my neighborhood is wired for Alexis. And they say about your TV They say when you turn your TV on, people actually see you. You notice that in your TV, everybody has a TV with a little red light, right? Which I always thought that was like for the remote control. You aim at that light and it changes the channel or whatever you want to do with that remote control. They said that's actually a camera looking at you.
They get computers too.
You know, it's funny, you know, and every time I get into the shower, I'm thinking to myself, man, you know, I mean, am I in this shower by myself or what? So I have this over my shower, right? I have this vent, which most bathrooms have. They have this vent, you know, for ventilation. So, you know, when you take a shower, the steam goes out the vent. And I don't know, whoever lived in my house before I lived there, I don't know what's behind that vent. So you know what I do? I look up at that vent every morning and I go, let them know, just in case. It's terrible. It's scary too.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, oh, by the way, the Yankees are in the lead. They're playing Boston right now, 5-2. Before we got on the air, they were winning 5-0. Now they're 5-2. They're playing Boston. That's our rival team. You know that.
Oh, they just, there's no love lost between those two historical clubs. They just do not like one another.
Yeah. And for the past few games, they were playing interleague games, you know. I'm not too much into interleague. What do you think? You like interleague play?
I don't have a problem with it. It brings excitement. I just don't like the new rules that they have. I don't like the designated hitter in the National League. You know, I guess you could call me a old historian. I like the managers go put their wits together to outsmart one another. Yeah. I don't the extra inning where you in the extra inning and the runner starts on second base. I don't like that. There's a lot of things I don't like about today's baseball. And baseball is desperate now because they're losing fans. So they're trying to score more runs into the equation to bring the fans back, to bring the kids back too. So that's where we are.
Yeah, and it's a money-making, baseball is money-making. It's just that now, like you say, they're kind of losing their fans and things like that. Yeah. I think in all of sports, the most popular big event is the Super Bowl in all of sports.
That one single event is the Super Bowl, yes. That one game where it's not only just the game, but it's the entertainment and the halftime shows, and it's just incredible.
People who don't even understand football watch.
That's why they form those Super Bowl parties.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, you know, the ones that don't understand football, they go to the Super Bowl parties to get fortified by beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So okay. I guess we'll catch you back here tomorrow morning on the coffee hour.
I'll see you bright and early tomorrow. Yes.
Okay. We'll look forward to seeing you then. You take care of yourself. Have a good evening. Talk to you later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports. Of course, he's going to return tomorrow morning with us with a repeat on the sports, and he'll bring us great news as he does each week. And tomorrow also, because that's part of his 2020 feature, right? He does 20 after the hour sports and 20 to the hour. DJ Pete comes in with entertainment news. And as far as I know right now, DJ Pete will be here. I haven't received any further indication or information from him otherwise. So we look forward to seeing him tomorrow as well. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allen, and we're here with you till the top of the hour. And those of you who are joining us for the first time, thank you for being along with us. Please be a part of us. Don't make it your last time being with us. Be part of the action. Be part of the family here. We're a bunch of nice people here. We have a lot of fun, and we talk all kinds of topics, information, and you could be part of it too. If there's anything that you want to talk about in particular, even if it's just to say hi, if you type it in, I will see you right there on the big screen, and I'll say hi back. But for those of you who just want to sit there idle and watch, we appreciate that. And whatever time you can spend with us, we really would appreciate that. And I hope it's the bulk of the show that you watch. You know, there you go. Okay, shall we dance? Okay, let's get going right now and talk about on this day in history in 1930, construction begins at Boulder Dam. On this day in history in 1949, Dragnet premieres on NBC Radio, also a TV series in 1951 and 1967. On this day in history in 1950, the UN Security Council establishes the United Nations Command to combat North Korean forces. On this day in history in 1953, Che Guevara sets out, that's Guevara, Che Guevara, sets out on a trip through Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and El Salvador. He sets all of those trips, and also Honduras. He's been all of those places. That was back in 1953. In 1958, President Eisenhower signs a bill approving Alaskan statehood. Back in 1965, Otis Redding records Respect. And I may add to that, not only did he record it back in 1965, but he composed it. And it was covered once again by the late Aretha Franklin back in 1967, made it her own song, a big hit back in 1967. And speaking of 1967, the Beatles' All You Need Is Love is released. And the same year for the Doors, they did a tune called Light My Fire, which became the #1 hit. In 1975, TV soap opera Ryan's Hope premieres on ABC. In 1976, 119 women joined the Corps of Cadets, establishing the first class of women in the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. Back in 1977, The Spy Who Loved Me, which was the 10th James Bond film starring Roger Moore and Barbara Bach, premieres in London. In 1981, Sandra Day O'Connor was nominated to the Supreme Court. She becomes the first female Supreme Court justice. Back in 1987, Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North begins public testimony at the Iran-Contra hearing. Back in 1996, Nelson Mandela steps down as president of South Africa. In 1924, Mary Ford and her husband, Les Ford, they had a show years ago in the 50s called the Les Paul and Mary Ford Show. And Mary Ford, who's no longer with us, she was born in El Monte, California. She passed away in 1977. Back in 1928, actress Patricia Hitchcock, which is the daughter of Alfred Hitchcock, was born in London, England. She passed away 2021. In 1930, jazz saxophonist Hank Mobley was born in Eastman, Georgia. He died May 30th, 1986 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Ex-Beatle Ringo Starr was born on this day in 1940 in Liverpool, England. He's 82 today. Congratulations and happy birthday. Actress Shelley Duvall was born on this day in 1949 in Houston, Texas. She's 73 today. In 1963, pop singer Vonda Shepard was born on this day, and she's 59 today. In 1969, actress Cree Summer, she played the character of Freddie on A Different World, that sitcom, and she was born on this day in Los Angeles, California. She's 53 today. In 1946, the 39th US President Jimmy Carter weds Rosalind Smith in Plains, Georgia. In 1970, here we go, she resurfaced again. Actress Shelley Duvall weds Bernard Sampson. Back in 1975, Pink Floyd guitarist David Gilmour. He was an American model and artist, Virginia Hasselbein, and they got divorced in 1990. In 1977, American Bandstand TV host Dick Clark weds Kerry Wigton in Malibu, California. In 1984, singer Frankie Valli of the Four Seasons, he gets married to Randy Kohasi. In 1987, the bold and the beautiful actress Hunter Tylo gets married to actor Michael Tylo. In 2001, actress Drew Barrymore weds actor-comedian Tom Green in Malibu, California. Back in 1953, actor Jose Ferrer divorces dancer and actress Phyllis Hill after 5 years of marriage. And finally, in 1994, actress Diane Lane files for divorce from Christopher Lambert. And that's this day in history. If you know anything that's happening on this day in history, and if I didn't mention it, because I don't know everything, but you can put your input in, do it right there, and I'll see you right there on the big screen, and we will announce it as well. So thank you so much for being with us. Okay, if you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allen, and of course we're here. We're going to be here for a little while longer. Those of you who are watching us, we're live here on Facebook as well. We're here on Instagram, and we're here on YouTube as well. And all you have to do with the little time that we have left, you could still tag all your friends this show if you're watching us on Facebook, and you'll catch what's left of the show. And of course, if they like us, they'll be back again and again, and we hope that you do. All right, there you go. Okay, and not too far in the show later on, not too far away, within this half hour, we're going to give you all of those great moments of the great movies, Turner Classic Movies. Yeah, before Brian left, we were talking about people, you know, technology, the way technology is. And it's kind of scary. We kind of lose our privacy. We're losing our privacy. And no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you're being watched. And if you think that you're not in that computer and that database or database, however you want to pronounce it, if you think that you're not in there, think again. Because if you have a social security number, if you have a driver's license, if you have a library card, if you vote, you're in there, you know. And even if you don't vote, you're in there. Because information, if you collect, let's say, social security, or if you collect a city pension, believe me, whatever it is, we're all in there. You take a blood test, you give blood, you donate blood, you're in that database, a database. However you pronounce it, database, it doesn't matter. You're in there. And it's funny because it's scary because I had a conversation some time ago, a long time ago, with someone. And he kind of, you know, I said, nah, I don't think so. But it kind of makes sense to me, where you see things are changing for the worse here in New York. You already know that they overturned Roe v. Wade. You already overturned that, right? And so you're taking the rights of all women who, if they decide they don't want to have a kid and they want to terminate the baby, the unborn child, what have you, you know, they no longer have the right to do that. Now here in New York, everything is remaining the same right now, so far in New York. So that law is still the law of the land. They can still have an abortion or terminate a child or whatever. And as I told you before, many times before, I'm against it, but I am not against protecting the rights of women in this country or anywhere for that matter. And if it's their right, let's say, for instance, if they're into a physical thing where if the doctor says, you know something, you should consider termination at this particular point, because there is no way physically you should have this baby because it might kill you. All right. So what is it now? Since it's the law of the land now, they took the rights away. So it kills you. And they don't care. They don't think about it. You see, it's so often that all of us as citizens of this country, instead of us sitting back, relaxing, taking it easy, take a deep breath, well, we're faced with decisions that are tough. And believe me, these decisions are tough. Instead of doing that, we tend to do things on impulse. And then when we do things on impulse, which by the way is a dangerous thing to do anything on impulse, because you're not using your head here. And we do things on impulse, and down the line, somewhere down the line, those decisions that we made that we didn't think about in the beginning, it came back to haunt us. And that's what's happening right now in this country. It's coming back to haunt us. But what I was about to say, I had a conversation with someone a long time ago. And he said, you know what? He says, it's going to get to the point. It's going to get to the point where you work hard for your money. You worked hard. You buy your house, you got a mortgage. If you don't own a home, you're paying rent. You're buying food, you're doing everything. You worked hard and you saved a nice nest egg for your retirement and you're all set. And if you're fortunate enough to have a great retirement nest egg, then God bless you, you're all set. And he said to me, he says, there may become a time when with all of that money that you saved, that you put away for your child, for college or a trust fund or whatever it is, or your retirement or your wife's retirement or medical bills or whatever it is, and you decide to go in there and pull out a little cash, borrow a little money, and you can't get in there. Why can't you get in there? Because it's no longer your money. The government has it. It's not your money. And I thought about that in the beginning. I said, you know, that's not possible. That's your money. And then I think about the way things are today, the way things are carried today. It somehow wouldn't surprise me if that happens. Now, I'm not saying it will, but he came out with that idea and I thought about it. I said, hey, you know something, anything is a possibility. But wouldn't that be something if that actually happened? You know, all the money that you have in the world, the only money that you have in the world, besides maybe even collecting your Social Security or whatever, you know, you can't get in. You want to go in there, you put your card in the machine and you want to take out a little cash and it says you're locked in, you can no longer take cash out. Of course, they will give you directions of going across what would you need the money for that you're taking out. Well, that's scary. That's really scary. You know, I'm not saying it would happen, but that's the kind of conversation that was brought out to me, and I thought about it. I took time and I thought about it. I said, you know, something, you know, I don't know that it will happen, but with things going on in the world today, you never know. You know, it's frightening. You know, I mean, when they get to the point where they can take all of your privileges, all of your rights away, now they're talking about the Voting Act. They're talking about now, Clarence Thomas is the one, he's the brainstorm of this. He says, now we got Roe v. Wade out of the way. Okay, Roe v. Wade, we got that out of the way. And now we're going to go after something else. What are we going to go after next? Oh, we're going to go after gay marriage. We're going to go after same-sex marriage, which they fought for to keep, you know, make that the law of the land. And now that it is, they want to say, okay, we're going to overturn that now. It's not right for the same sex to get married. Well, you know, listen, whatever you don't have to believe in that. No one says that you have to believe in that, but what gives you the right to say, you know, they can't do that? They can't love a person because they're the same sex. What gives you the right and the authority? And how dare the Supreme Court come up with that kind of situation? Then they're gonna say something about interracial marriage. Interracial marriage. We're gonna get to that too. Interracial marriage. No more interracial marriage. Black should be here, Latino should be there, white should be there. No interracial marriage. Of course, I don't know why, and I don't know how, and I'm not saying he did, but if he did, I don't know how Clarence Thomas would come up with something like that because he's in an interracial marriage. So if he comes out with that, he might as well say goodbye to Ginny. Bye-bye, Ginny. We can't do this anymore. It's the law of the land. Frankly, on my take, if you're asking me, I don't think that's going to happen. With the money situation, can't get your money out of a bank. I don't know that's going to happen, you know, but it's something to think about. And as we prepare ourselves for all kinds of possibilities, You know, we think about it and say, okay, I've got all of this money. I want to make sure that my kids go to college. I want to make sure that to give them the things that I never had, because all parents think that way. You want to make sure that your kids have the things that you never had. And as generation to generation goes on, and then when they get older and they have their kids and they finish college and their kids, they want to have, even though they may have a substantial amount of great education, but education is endless, you know, so we learn more every day. So you want to make sure that your children go beyond what you did as far as your education or whatever, your lifestyle or whatever, go beyond. You gotta do better. As generations go on, we gotta do better and better. And we count on that. We count on that. And that's the way I'm thinking about this country. As generations go on, I want to see this country elevate better and better and better. But at this particular point, there's so much work to be done in this country, and there's so much hate in the world where it kind of like brings us back. And when you get people like the Proud Boys and the skinheads and all of the other racist people in the racist community, they're holding us back because they say, you know, something, this is America. Have you ever heard another racist tell someone, you know, you don't speak English, you shouldn't be in this country? How do you know that this person wasn't born in this country? You know, just because a person is from Africa or maybe from Puerto Rico, which by the way, is in this country. But see, they still don't get it because they say, oh, you're from Puerto Rico? We're here in America. This is America. Puerto Rico is America, you know? But then, of course, you get people from different countries who are legal in this country. Some people who were born in this country, but their ancestors was from another country. They go back and visit that country just to understand, you know, that their parents or their other relatives are born in that country, but they want to go back to visit, but they were born in this country. And you have a lot of nerve that say, you know, this is America and you don't belong here. Well, with that kind of thinking, and I've said this many times before, with that kind of thinking, let's all of us pack our bags and get out of here. How about that? Because all of us came from someplace, all of us. You know, how about that? Did anybody ever think about that? You don't belong here, I don't belong here. Let's pack our bags and get out of here, even though we were born here, but we're not the true Americans. And of course, we already know who the true Americans are, but no one wants to entertain that. And that's the sad part. That's the sad part. We could all be Americans. We could all live here. And whatever you are, if you're a Native American, you can still live here. This is your country. You're Native American. And as a person with a Native American background, it offends me highly when people make mockery of Native Americans or say that this is not their country. We built this country. It bothers me. And I'm a proud person, whatever I am, I am mixed. All of us are mixed with something. All of us are mixed with something. And whatever I mixed with, and I didn't get everything that I do know I'm part Native American and other, you know, biracial, I don't know, we all, whether you want to believe it or whether you know it or not, we're all mixed with something. And I am proud for every drop of blood of wherever I'm from, wherever my ancestors are from. If you're from Italy, you're from France, you're from Germany, and if I have that drop of blood, if you're Spanish, you're from the West Indies, I would be proud of all of that because it's in my blood. I have family from there and it's in my blood. Be proud of it. And so, what is that? Is someone going to tell me now you don't belong here? You don't belong in this country just because I have a drop of blood or I'm a little different from you? I'm African American or I'm part Native American. I don't belong here. think twice. Come and get me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's now coming up to 5 minutes to the hour. And before we go, of course, we want to talk about those great movies that we talk about all the time, the Turner Classic Movies. Now, I always do this each week. I always make sure that you are entertained. If you want to catch up on some movies, I have some that you may be interested in. And no matter what you do on the weekends, you can always find time to catch up on movies that you like. So I have my picks of the week, which I will give to you right now. Let's get started right now. Here's one from 1967, Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde that starred Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can check that out this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right there on Turner Classic Movies. It's a great movie, Bonnie and Clyde. Go back to 1967. Here's one that goes back to 1941 with Orson Welles. Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane, that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can catch that. And you can catch that. That comes on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So when you're back from church and you're having dinner, you can watch it at that particular time. Also, something nice, if you like musicals, which I do like, I like musicals, I really do. And here's something that goes back to 1962 called Gypsy. Gypsy, starring Rosalind Russell, Carl Malden, and Natalie Wood. And it's a nice, a feel-good kind of a movie that if you like musicals, and it's with a little dash of comedy all in there. You can check that out, Turner Classic Movies, at this Sunday at 5:15 p.m. Eastern. Now, everything that we give you is always Eastern, so check your time, make sure that you're on the right time zone so you won't have to miss it. And all of these movies that we give you, we purposely design it in a way where they won't be overlapping each other, and you can watch every one of these movies in their entirety. Now, you could also go on Movie on Demand. They have a lot of great movies on demand too that you could watch. And I mean a long list of all of these movies. All you have to go to, just go there and check it out. It's from A to Z. And there may be movies that you haven't seen in a long time, and you want to say, okay, fine, I want to check those out. I want to check those out, you know, and then you can put it on your bucket list. And you can also DVR these movies if you don't get a chance to see them in real time. DVR them and watch them later on at your own time convenience. And so you'll see all of these great movies, movie on demand. They date back to the 1930s, the 40s, the 50s, and 60s, and so on. Also, you get some of the latest movies that you can watch on pay-per-view. Some of the latest movies that come out. You don't get a chance to go to the theater, or you're not comfortable with going to the theater just yet right now. You can check those movies out. They come in on pay-per-view shortly after they're released. And so you can check it out in your own home, and you can pop your own popcorn and eat your own hot dogs, and you drink your own beer and sit back, relax with the family and watch these things. Now, as far as Turner Classic Movies concerned, the movies that I gave you, there are other movies too. You can go to Turner Classic Movies and go through the program guide. There may be other that you may see, you say, oh, you know, he didn't mention this one. This is a great movie. I got to see this one. Remember, these are only my picks. The one that I picked, they're only my picks, and that's only because they're my picks. And not that I don't like these other movies, but these are my picks of the weeks. All right. And of course, if you like other movies, they have the networks. If you like Lifetime movies, whatever is available on Lifetime, they're right there on demand. Sports, you can check it out. You know, check it out in real time. Of course, the following day, you know, it's on demand. It's all there, so you can check it out. So quickly before we go, let me go over these movies once again. We have Bonnie and Clyde with Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway. That's Saturday at 8 p.m. on Turner Classic Movie. Citizen Kane with Orson Welles on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Gypsy, that's the final one. Gypsy, 1962 with Rosalind Russell, Carl Malden, and Natalie Wood. That's on Sunday at 5:15 p.m. and you can check them out, and I hope that you like them. That's going to do it for us for this week. I really had a ball doing it, and I hope that you had a great time as much as I have. But we're going to come back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern for the coffee hour. I will be here along with Ryan Camp with the Sports 2020 feature. He's coming on 20 after the hour. with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. The second half of the 2020 feature with DJ Pete. He's coming along with entertainment news and reciting all of those birthdays of people of notoriety within that week. And of course, all of us together, you be there and we'll chat together. We'll have a good time as usual. Other than that, I will be back here next week, next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for more Talk Back Live. And I hope you will be here. Brian Kemp will be here too with the latest developments in today's world of sports. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, have a great morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant good night.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allen. The producer is Al Dale, technical assistants Dave Taylor, research by Sandy Pierce, and I'm your announcer Donna Stanky. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.